You got your other camera? Can't see it.
Right, here we go. That should be working. No, we're just going to go with you. So my technical support has arrived and he's staying. I have no idea what happened. I'm very sorry. So, yeah, let's try that again. How's that sound to everyone? Ken, say something.
Yeah, hello.
I haven't got it muted.
There's no one watching at the minute. Might want to share it.
Oh, there is on there.
Oh yeah, there they go. There they go. There it goes. I just took it.
There we are.
There you go.
Okay. Well, hopefully, this is working. So it doesn't. If it isn't, I'm going to sign off and go in and get a drink. That's my. Yeah.
Well, he's crystal clear. He's crystal clear. It's all sorted, but we're getting it's teething problems, isn't it? For rather you did it tonight, to be honest, than Monday.
Yeah. There we go. There we go. Well, yeah, there you go. It's. I'd like to say this was a trial run.
Yeah, he's still not told me what he did, but
and you're never gonna know. You're never gonna know. You're never gonna know. Yeah. So I think we should. For the first comment I'm ever going to show, let's share Dom's comment, shall we? There we go.
Ken break it. Nice.
It was because Ken was watching it. See. This is your job. This is your. This is what you do.
This is my livelihood, yes.
Not streaming, but, helping stupid people try and fix their internet issues. I dig holes for a living. I'm not... I don't know what to do with wires and things. It's just a miracle I got some new headphones.
I thought about you, actually, when we were walking around Bishop's Wolfman Palace. It's just literally like 2 minutes down the road to me. It dates back early 1100s.
Yeah,
and there's the latrine pit still there and that, and I was just thinking,
so
Martin,
you saw a latrine. Oh, right, not you didn't just see a latrine and think of me.
Yeah, I saw the latrine pit, and it said, I thought Martin would love to get in there. Imagine all the feces. Dig through it.
Lovely. That is primarily what we end up digging through. To be fair, it's just. Can I ask you a question? Like you obviously you weren't like it wasn't like a plan or anything that you were gonna come on tonight. So how come you're wearing the jester outfit?
Oh, because I was cold, and I looked in my cupboard and I thought, what's in there? There's a hoodie wise, and I thought it's not a jester outfit anyway. Hang on a minute, yeah, and I just thought I'd wear it. It's just a bit of casual wear around the house, loves it. Yeah,
I need to find mine. I don't know what I've done with mine. I don't know where it's gone. I'm gonna have to dig that out before Monday.
Yeah. So you've been fiddling, haven't you? Have you been doing like your little logo? Oh yeah, you got your little Seventh Son logo up there as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we've been sorting things out, haven't we? We've been playing around. What I'm going to do, I'm going to change it. There we go to that, so we get a bit of a wider view. Yeah. Dom reckons that Laura won't let you go. Won't let you into. What's he say? Laura won't let him to bed without it on.
Fucking hell.
And Peter says, "One did Haley sort it out?" I don't know. No.
She came in and asked about wine.
She came in and asked, yeah, that's prone. Robert Cox wants to know what we're both painting. So I'll try that again because obviously mine was so garbled. I probably sounded like a clanger on the last one.
You can flash up your text you're talking about. I keep forgetting to do that when I was doing it.
Oh yes, yeah, there we go. What's it say? Good evening, Martin. I want to strangle you.
Oh, nice.
What? That's nice. No. Okay. So I'm working on some World War II partisans, which got given for Christmas. It's a squad of those, but because I'm keeping going on the Wars of the Roses, I'm also working on another Lord. I just haven't decided yet what livery I'm going to use because there's so many. I think I've got about 100 different liveries now, and yeah, it's just I don't know which one to do because some of them are horrifically complicated. I mean, look at this is one of the ones I'm thinking of doing, and this is up the top here. This is John Neville. This is the Kingmaker's brother, but I would have to try and copy one after that.
That'd be a bit of a bitch, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but I kind of want to do him because he's a really interesting character. But then you see, there's other ones where you just have like a crow or something. But no, I'm working on these partisans for Operation Squad.
Yeah.
Which so this one pack of 10, that's basically an army. Oh, Michael Huxley's just embellished because apparently I cost him over £100 in English Civil War figures. All right, okay. Not just you just logged on and you just wanted to throttle me to death, but okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's a decent reason. That's a good reason. There's people I want to get because of that. What about you? What you? I know what you're painting, and I think everyone knows what you're painting. But you've gone then.
I'm painting not French. I'm painting Italians.
You're painting Italians under the control of France.
Yes, under the control of France, of course. Why else wouldn't they? I've got a question actually, because people in the audience. I've asked you this, I think, before, but I think we came to the conclusion we weren't 100% sure. But the Swiss, okay, from 1812 onwards, what was their flag like? Because I cannot find an image of the flag that doesn't look like the old 1804 flag. Only the 1804 flag I can find. I've looked up. I've tried. There's a Swiss book. It's called the Swiss under French control or something like that, and that looks like it probably have all the flags in. But Google researching, I've asked on the Napoleonic War Gamer, can't find it anywhere because that's one of the flags that I'd want to go with the Swiss. If there's a different,
I got mine. I've done the Swiss. The one I got was from GMB and was specifically in the 1815 section. But Grand Prigo just says they kept the old flag.
There you go. That's all I needed to know.
That's
your, as soon as I know that, thank you very much. And that's how you say it, Grand Prigo. There you go. Now I know how to say it.
It's taken me a while. The only reason I don't know if it's the only reason, you know, that the fizzy drink was it, I can't even say it now, was it San yeah, I was looking at that and then I thought about his name. I was just wondering if that kind of jolted my but yeah, so I thought we'd do. Sonia, what's everybody else what's everyone else doing? But Dom's laying in some shade. Martin costs us all lots of money. # Wars of the Roses.
You're a bit of an ambassador.
And then we've got Michael Huxley. It's a lovely period, but not so easy to research as I first thought. Is that the that's he's talking about the English Civil War? Yeah, I just asked Miller and Paul Richardson. that's my research. But we get that down. What's my process of painting black armor like I did for my Edward IV miniature? Well, basically, it depends if you want to do it for a noble, or if you're just going to mix it in, because it is Ken will tell you with the contrast paints, it's easier it's all down to whatever base coat you put on. So if it's for a like a noble, I'll use a much lighter color, like air color chrome, like this. And
pop, don't you? Nice,
yeah, and then if it's like just a standard bloke, I'll just chuck on like this one, Lead Belcher, which is sort of a dark muted silver color, much more drab. But I put that down, and then it was 3 successive layers of Black Templar, but I watered the Black Templar down with the contrast medium each time, about 50-50, because I didn't want to put too much on at a time. So I watered it down, put about 3 coats on with that. And then I mixed a little bit of Black Templar with the chrome color, and just did some edge highlighting to do some scratches and some stuff like that. So eventually, it was quite slow, and then just used the gold to do some edge highlights, and that's basically what I did. Izzy was the king. I spent a little bit longer on him. For other ones who are wearing black armor, who are just in the troop, as it were, I've just slapped Black Templar straight over a silver base coat, and then just done a little bit of dry brushing with some silver to pull it out. But yeah, there you go. There you go. Are you playing with your background?
Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't I? I love.
Right, let's stop it.
I could put my cat up there.
What's your cat called?
Daisy. Little bitch.
All right. Lovely. Oh dear. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm just trying to. Oh, did you think I went off all black and it disappeared?
I didn't know what you were doing. It was it was just a bit confusing for me. Oh dear. All right, I will. There we go. Now these little partisan models are really nice. I haven't painted anything World War II for about 2.5 years. It's weird to be painting weapons that are a little bit more involved than a musket.
Yeah, 100% agree. I'll tell you what isn't fitting to frame. I'll go to the background again in a second. Oh, there you go, paratrooper. Right by his crotch.
Lovely. Well, if he was hanging, if his chute got caught in a tree, that might be all you would see anyway. If he was just like hanging down.
Yeah, I don't like the thingy of that angle, just in case. It looks a bit worrying.
Oh, there we go. Right. As you say, no welcome, Joe. No problem, Joe Miller. Yeah, he is a nice miniature, isn't he? Yeah, I remember we were chatting about it at the time. But it's, I don't know. I just kind of want a few more nobles for the Wars of the Roses in metal, but there aren't a great deal. So I tend to now just mix things from the Perry plastics and just make what I want. Maybe one day I'll have enough spare cash just to commission the miniatures.
Be nice, wouldn't
it? Yeah. Oh dear, what have we got here? Michael says that he lives in Cornwall, so he's tried to make the Royalist Cornish Army. Very little information on Sir Bevel Grenville's colours. I found one website that had loads of information about colours, but it was for very limited regiments, and so I've just painted up regiments that are on that website. so I know what I could do, which is brilliant. But English Civil War is. I worked out that by the time when I finish my next part of the regiment that I'm doing, I'm going to have painted like 75 minis. I've only got 2 units. One's a cannon and one's the block.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. So yeah, no, it's just a bit crazy. Peter's here. Hello, mate. And so is Nick Games. Ken, you should have a burning castle in the background.
I'll do my best to find one quickly.
Yeah. There we go. And then Joe says it'd be cool if Perry did some Flodden and early Renaissance. I was looking at some early Renaissance miniatures the other day, and I can't remember who I saw did them. When I was looking at it, I remember thinking, no one else does a lot of this. I need to start saving things on my phone a lot better. So,
yeah. It's a nightmare, though, because you can, like you say, you save stuff and then, you forget. And I always forget to save things properly. It does my nutting, really. I'm quite a pain in the ass for it. I think, I remember to save that as a link, but I never do, and I always forget.
What I tend to do now is I open multiple web pages. If you open the browser on my phone, there's about 70 tabs because I just leave them open on that.
Oh my god, your phone must run so slow.
Does that upset you a bit?
No. But I've got Burning Castle in the background now. There you go.
That looks like something like Game of Thrones, but yeah, it's a burning castle. So there you go. I really upset my my mate at work, my business partner, because I never ever empty my recycle bin. So I went in there just before Christmas, so I thought I'll do a bit of a Christmas tidy up, and I found. And I had 83 gigabytes of stuff in my recycle bin.
Oh my god!
And he just shouted at me.
To be fair, no wonder why your computers run slow, man.
There's not on this one. There isn't. Not on this one. If I tell you right now, because of course this is what people logged on for. Hang on, I'll just tell you right now. There's 14 gig. There you go. That's not much.
All right then. Right click and delete it completely. Get rid of it.
I get scared about emptying my recycle bin. There we go. Hang on. If all of a sudden everything suddenly starts, it's all amazing. Oh dear. Right. Okay. So I'm going to work on this Wars of the Roses guy. Is
that what you're doing at the minute? Then is it? Is that your project?
No, I'm mixing it up this month, to be honest, because I wanted to.
Was it in French?
So do I wanted to do multiple things. So I'm doing Wars of the Roses in the background the whole time. I'm going to finish these partisans. I've got some more English Civil War to do. The Moonstone miniatures I'm still working on. I just finished one of these called the Vicious Midget. Check him out. He's got a he is just a tiny goblin. Like he is tiny, but he's just a goblin in armor with a sword. So I'm enjoying those.
Put your hand behind it. I couldn't see it. It was really blurry. Get it into focus, yeah.
Yeah, it'll come into focus in a second. Oh.
Yeah, there it goes. Oh yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, he is Diddy. But so looking forward to getting some of that stuff out, to be honest. But no, I've also though got my samurai are going to be making an appearance. So
46mm stuff.
No, my 28mm stuff. So one of my Christmas presents from, again, I think this might have been from my mother. She got me quite a lot of them. Oh yeah, because Hayley got me no model related gifts at all.
Complete opposite to what Laura did, was literally just hobby. It's like she wants to get rid of me.
Can't imagine why. Hang on, I'll show you what. There we go. Hang on. So there we go. So I've got that.
Oh, Test of Honor, yeah.
So, yeah, but this is the second edition, which is published by Grey for Now Games. So this is the second edition rulebook, which is a lot bigger than the first edition rulebook, which was about 6 pages long. Yeah. This comes with all the upgrade cards that you need. Just for, look at that. There's a deck there for 2 players of all the cards you need. Special edition miniature. So what I'm going to do is it's another scale. We've already got all the models, but I'll be doing a video about this. But my previous forces, I were all in white. And I did them really quickly to get them on the table. And when I say all in white, I don't mean I just undercoated them. I mean, I've done effectively a white livery uniform on them. But I looked at them again now, and I was thinking, well, I've got lockdown. Why don't I sort of do them up a little bit? So I'm going to be going back over them. But because I've already done shading and stuff in white, the contrast paint should work quite well on them.
Yeah, 100% agree with that.
So I'd like to say that was some forethought from me from 3 years ago, but no, it certainly isn't. Let's have a look in here. There we go. Right. So yeah, Dom says one of the best things to look at is the reenactment websites if you're doing English Civil War. I agree. Leslie says it's very nice to see what I'm painting rather than watching you chewing your paintbrush. Thanks, Leslie. Yeah. Campbell's asked me how my Carthaginian project is going. It's going really well. I finished all my Carthaginians that I've bought, and I have a big box here of Victrix miniatures for doing the Romans and then the Gauls, which I can split between Gaulish allies between Rome and Carthage, because they're both. And Peter's asked, he's looking at doing Scots Wars of the Roses, but he can't find any minis. Do you guys have any idea? So the Scots were sort of obviously they were still fighting against the English for quite a lot of it, and then at one point they were allied with the House of Lancaster, and they gave mercenaries to Margaret of Anjou when she came south. And it's bite-sized minis. He's done some Scots as well. And effectively, I think we just used the mercenaries. So you could probably get away with just using the Wars of the Roses miniatures from Perry. There wasn't a great deal of difference. The thing is, after they get beaten at Taunton, they all go back up north, and they don't sort of come down again for a little while. They still send some mercenaries down, but then after the Yorkists sort of secure their victory, Richard, who becomes Richard III, he went up north, invaded Scotland, got us lay siege and captured Edinburgh, and just so that's why that's why the town of Berwick was English for such a long time when Richard captured it. So yeah, if you're going to do Scots, you could always, if you wanted to sort of like bring them in, you could do the army where they're allied with Margaret of Anjou, have a few Lancastrian units in there. And then just fill it out with loads of Scots mercenaries, which is because they were basically told they could she had no way of really paying them, so they basically were told they could plunder what they wanted, and they burnt down a town near me called Royston as payment.
That's great, isn't it? Always handy to your mercenaries.
Exactly what we got here. And I say he's got distracted by American War of Independence. I'm deliberately not looking at American War of Independence because I've got enough to be distracted by.
100% agree with you there.
There is stuff there. King Matt's working on his ACW. They're having everyone's having a chat in there about this. There we go. I haven't done any American War of Independence gaming ever. The closest I've got is doing Muskets and Tomahawks, French Indian War.
I did it with Dom, American War of Independence, I think. Yeah, I did.
For Muskets and Tomahawks?
Yeah, but not actually. I've not painted any, and I don't intend on painting any because Dom's got them. There's just no point. I'm not overly interested in the period because I'm more into my Napoleonics, and I hate to say it, but they all shoot muskets. So to me, one's tomato, but I'm sure people will shoot me for that. Wait for it to start. But yeah, I'm more into my Napoleonics. I'm not digging the British Napoleonics at the minute at all.
No,
I wonder.
No,
they're just not in there. Nowhere in my mind.
Well, the only time I've used the British Napoleonics recently is when I played you. Yeah. Maybe that's what I need to do. I seem to have I've used them once and I won, and every time I use the French, I lose.
Yeah, maybe you should start doing some more British.
Yeah, maybe I could. The thing is, I've already done loads, but I allied them up with my Hanoverians, so that's where that's the thing there. So I and also I got sick of painting redcoats because they are a lot harder, in my opinion, to paint than the French. And even the French.
That's a good man. I've got to put it up. He's just because of his name. What are you painting today? Get rid of that. But yeah.
Well, thank you for coming to my rescue. I appreciate it.
No, that's all right, mate. I'm going to disappear anyway in a few minutes because I'm going to go and watch some television. But I'm going to leave you guys to enjoy.
If you log off and my whole thing just shuts down, you're just going to have to come back on and just like sit there.
Sorry, Laura. Yeah.
Martin needs me. Yeah.
Yeah, Martin needs. If you want me to come up there with a suitcase, bud, and live at your house, then I can say that. But I don't think that's a really good idea. It's a long way for me to go to work.
Oh well, we got there in the end.
Yeah,
we got that sorted tonight. Actually, to be fair,
had a bit of a bugger on Monday, mate. I'll tell you that much. But no, I hope everyone's cool. I'll sign out then, and I'll leave you to it.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your technical expertise.
That's all right.
We will never, and you're never going to find out what happened. Just
you better message me.
No. Nope. No, that's absolutely fine. I'll tell you when Dom or Steve has made a bigger technical faux pas than me, and then I'll tell you what happened. Because then it won't be as bad. Anyway, thank you very much.
I'll see you later, guys.
I'll see you later. Right. Yeah, sorry about that with the original stream. That was entirely my fault. So, but everything seems to be on track now. So, yeah, the idea was just to do a little bit of painting and just and say hello. Really. I'm quite enjoying painting these World War II things, but they do. I don't know if it's just me, but because I can pretty much paint them how I want because they're in civilian dress, they're really simple. Well, I hope everybody had as good a Christmas as they could, given the circumstances. Did anyone get any much hobbying done? There's been quite a few videos that have been going out. There's a few people I've chatted to who've got a few bits. As Dom has obviously been putting stuff out, which is I don't know how he manages to get all that done. I'm sure he's going to comment in a second and enlighten me. But managed to get the Civil War cannon completed and the bombard, the Wars of the Roses. See, I just use one of my least favorite parts of painting any model is the weapons. I don't enjoy painting weapons, and guns, muskets, they annoy me. So what I've just started doing is I just use this contrast paint Wildwood on them. It gives it helps me get it done quickly. So not a fan. So you have problems with the paint chipping off after a month. So you put 2 layers of wash and highlights on it. It used to chip off. I mean, I use a matte varnish in all my miniatures. I actually use the GW one. I actually quite like that. What's it called? Munitorium varnish, because it's not entirely matte. It's got just a slight sort of satin finish to it, but it's not doesn't overdo it. And I use that. I haven't had any problem with it chipping off. I'd suggest maybe putting a matte varnish over the top of spray varnish. I agree. Miller agrees. The machine, he manages to turn out the quality. Yeah, he does. He does. I would like to know. I don't know if he just production lines everything and then he just churns it out. Oh yeah, there we go. Lots of filters and camera angles. Peter, your wife, my philosophy is every time she looks at the PC, it's Wars of the Roses stuff. Or should I say, I haven't managed to get my wife into the Wars of the Roses stuff yet, other than watching that TV series, The White Queen. That's as far as it's got. I think she's got sick of me talking about the Wars of the Roses and getting excited about sort of lots of like minor lords that I find that have got sort of strange connections to the area. So one of the connections that we got that's probably quite well known is Bosworth Field, and Richard III made his rather fateful decision to charge at the end of the at the end of the battle. He didn't know it was going to be the end of the battle, but when he charged, when he saw that Henry Tudor was slightly isolated, he killed Henry Tudor's standard bearer. He ran him through with a lance. And that was a guy called William Brandon, and he's from Soham, which is just down the road from me. But it actually turns out they're actually really still quite proud of this bloke. There's like a memorial thing to him in the village, which was slightly odd. Obviously, then it didn't exactly turn out for Richard. Although he also cut another knight's leg off before they got him off his horse and did him in. What's the next game coming up with the missus? You like the banter? I'd like to say that banter was put on, but that is genuinely the hard time that that she gives me when we're playing games. You see, if we're playing a board game, it gets even worse. Especially if we're playing a game like Ticket to Ride or Monopoly, or and I block, say, a move that she wants to do. It's almost a case of flipping the table. Which, one, that would be hilarious. I'm scared that she might flip the table with the minis on it. Next game, I'm not entirely sure yet, to be honest. Obviously, there's always a chance of doing Napoleonics. I did consider putting a poll up to see what people fancied, whether they wanted another Napoleonic battle report or if they fancied something a little bit different, like whether they wanted some more Dead Man's Hand. We will be trying out Moonstone and Test of Honor as well. I've already played Test of Honor, or First Edition, so we will be trying out Moonstone just for a bit of fantasy. The thing is, because now we've gone into second lockdown, I can't. My Wars of the Roses opponent is obviously can't come round, so we had this whole set of games planned for the Wars of the Roses of a continuing campaign, and we were going to film things every few weeks and have a nice ongoing narrative. But that's fallen by the wayside. So we will get that. We will get that done. But hopefully, so maybe another Napoleonic game, maybe some smaller ones. Michael wants to know who won the Snowman competition. Haley won the Snowman competition. It didn't start out Zoe, but yes, it was. It was Haley. But to be fair, I think it was the little bowler hat that won it for her. I think she saw my idea of sticking a Grenadier's hat on it, and then she stole it. Although she was incredibly pleased with herself that she found those pipe cleaners that looked like tints. But that was a good game. That was a good, fun game to play. Marshall, no, you didn't really know that varnish really existed. Yeah, mate. Some people don't varnish them. We had this on the other day on the stream. I think we came to the conclusion that myself and Dom do varnish, and Steve and Ken don't. Again, it also depends what kind of models you're painting, because I paint a lot of metal models as well, whereas some people stick to plastics, and metals do tend to chip a bit more, in my experience. So, you know, that could be another thing. Is this Dom going through his list of things on his desk right now? He's got on a list 16 Norman infantry in various stages, 8 base coated skin tone British, French Indian War, 12 Norman crossbows. Wow. Is that just tonight's painting, mate, or are you planning on getting? Oh, and a Portuguese gun that's been assembled and sprayed a group of Cleveberg engineers. So you'll have those all done by Monday. Then is that when we do the traditional what you've been working on? Are you just gonna be printing a huge list in front of us? You voted for right. Yeah, cheers, Mike. You wanted the bowler hat. Yeah, that was her. That was her. And yes, Haley does. Yeah, she wins again. As well, it would be. I would quite like it if I the thing was, tactically in that last game, if you watch the last battle, the way the scenario was set up, she had 2 options of where she could come in. I thought, because Haley in the games, I don't know if you've noticed, is quite bloodthirsty. She likes going for the kill quite quickly. So I thought she was going to deploy and just charge the supply column straight away in the game, which is kind of what I was hoping. But she didn't. She deployed further up the field to try and cut me off. So then her reinforcements get me. So Haley's was thinking quite tactically. But yeah, it was a good game. I am looking forward to having a massive game at some point, because I know we've been playing them on 6x4s or 7x4s, which is what I played against Ken on. But we are hopefully going to have one, or I'll do a battle and it'll be sort of in 2 halves. We'll do a preliminary phase on one side and then go to another sort of phase of the battle and use nothing, and then work it all out that way. So we've got some plans. Right, let's take this. So I think these are actually French partisans, but I'm not actually going to paint them up as being any particular nationality. we've got so. I mean, this basically here is a whole force for Operation Squad. I think I worked out this is about a 650 point army. In most games are between 600 and 800 points. All I've got to do here is add a mortar or something like that, and that's a game. But I'm going to be there's going to be some videos coming up on that. So yeah, there will be a little bit of World War II coming onto the channel as well. But don't worry, the primary focus is still going to be Wars of the Roses and Napoleonic, because I've made a pledge, probably rather foolhardily, to get all my Napoleonic cavalry done, and there's a lot of it, an awful lot of it to get through. So I'm going to try and paint one Napoleonic cavalry unit a month, or sell them. Either way, they're either going to be painted or they're going to be leaving the house. So for this guy now, he's I'm going to use this contrast paint, Basilicanium grey. Put that over the base coat of the armor. It works basically like a wash, but a bit heavier. Now, I don't just use like contrast paints, but they're really handy for getting all the base work done. And because of the way they're designed, the way they do the thing, if you like, it shows you where you can highlight. It's basically use it as a guide. Obviously, that's not the only way to paint at all, but I find using them this way, it's quite useful. So what I'm going to do, he'll get one coat now, and then he'll get another one, because I rather build up thin layers. And so he's going to be a lord, and then I'm going to do all his armor, and then we'll work on his surcoat. But I don't know. What do you guys think? We've got, so it's down to either this one here, Sir Roger Vaughan, and so that'll be the surcoat. So we have the lions and the heads to do. I think that one looks quite cool. Or we've got John, the Marquis of Montagu, who became Earl of Northumberland. He's the Earl of Warwick's brother. He was quite a big player in the later part of the Wars of the Roses. But I mean, just look at that. How on earth? I mean, I'm up for giving it a go, but I do quite like this one as well. But they're quite cool characters. But this one won't. If it's Roger Vaughan that I do, it'll just be like a single base with him on and his banner bearer and a couple of retainers. If I do Montagu, who I will be doing eventually anyway, I'll pull together a couple of units for him. As I say, this is the model that came. Then never mind the Bill Hooks promo model. So you've got this heavily armored lord using the poleaxe. More. Well, I think at least the name of the podcast was about right, given the way it started, shaken and definitely disordered. And I'll get that fixed. So, yeah, the idea with these sort of irregular casts was just to do just that, just turn on the camera every now and then when I had some time. Just get some painting done and see who it's about. So we've got a vote for Vaughan. That's a vote for the Welsh. Yeah, I quite like Vaughan. He's got quite a cool story as well, and it fits quite well with the Welshman I've already with Pembroke and the guy that I've done previously. So they actually, they're either stepbrothers or half brothers. I can't remember quite the relationship. Sod off, Don. Most difficult one. Right. King Matt, who's excited to wargame ACW2? Hey, do you mean who's excited to play American Civil War, or would it be ACW2? Another Second American Civil War. I am quite enjoying seeing all of these people's projects on the American Civil War. It is something that I do. Again, we've talked previously on the stream about periods that we want to do or you must do, and American Civil War is one of them. And I've played around with the idea of doing it in different scales. In fact, just here, I've done some test 6mm ECW figures. I got a sample pack from Bacchus. I did these a couple of years ago, just to see sort of how they come out, really. So I thought I'd just do some. They've just sat here now. I've just done this little base, so I thought maybe I'd do that, and it turned out I never did. So there is. I still quite like my. Oh, is it going to focus? It's not going to focus. My little cannon. It's not going to focus. But yeah, I don't know. There's obviously the new range from all of it. No, if I do that, if I do any kind of American Civil War, it will probably be for the supplement that comes out for Muskets and Tomahawks, so a large skirmish. Yeah, the back of sculpts are amazing, Matt. They are really nice. Have I done any Lancastrian Retuins or Lords? No, I haven't. The reason for that is very simply is when we started this Wars of the Roses project, myself and my friend Matt, he's chosen Lancastrians because he's got some kind of vague connection to the Beaufort family, about as vague as Henry Tudor's was. So he's probably got just about as strong a claim to the throne as Henry Tudor did. To be fair, I've got about as good a claim to the throne as Henry Tudor did. But no, I haven't. Mine was a Yorkist force, but because obviously with the lockdown, I realised that slightly limits me in my playing at Wars of the Roses. That's why I'm building up a large Neville faction. Because if I want to play the early phase of the Wars of the Roses, where you have the most battles, then I'm fully kitted out for that, but I have no opponents. However, if I want to play the mid phase, when Warwick turned to the Lancastrian side and started fighting for Margaret and Henry, I can then use Warwick and Montague against them and potentially just add in a couple of Lancastrians. So that's part of the reason I want to build up a large Neville Warwick force, is so I have somebody to fight against that will also fight for my Yorkists. Oh, sorry, I want me to show this off again. Sorry. Right, there we go. So we have this. The sample pack is quite nice. So we have the little sort of Confederate. I've done these up as Confederates. I don't know if the uniforms are right. There we go. Oh. Can you just let me check? Can you guys just still hear me? Because my, I don't know if this was part of the problem, was my headphones have now just disconnected. So I don't know if that's, problem is I'm not having a good time with technology. So there's some skirmishes that I did. I'll focus. Yeah. There we go. But yeah, they're quite nice minis. But you can get a sample pack from Bacchus, relatively cheap. I think it was about £3 and got quite a lot in it. I actually split it out between a few people. All right, time to put the second coat on. And Peter said his history is fascinating. He was stepbrother. Yeah, Vaughan. They were so closely tied with the Herberts. Obviously, if you watched my video or just read some history, it didn't end well for the Herberts. They were both the Herbert brothers were killed at Edgecott, and the Vaughans ended up sort of tied in with all that. It was the Vaughans, the Herberts, and who's the other family?
it wasn't the Conyers. There's another family, and they basically were the Welsh contingent. Was it Devereux? Yes, it was Devereux. They were sort of like the Yorkist Welsh contingent. But there's a lot of battles and skirmishes in Wales, and all we have is the names that they took place, that we don't actually know too much about the details. There's quite a lot of opportunity for some gaming there. And it's funny, really, because you've got this big Yorkist Welsh faction, but everyone, and it's true, traditionally thinks that Wales was in support of the Tudors. Well, the fact is that the Tudors buggered off into exile for quite a long time, and it was only in the later phase when Jasper Tudor came back with Henry that they actually started to gain more support. Right. Getting the armour done there. Right, let's add some green. So, I really am. I wouldn't say I don't know anything about World War II, but there's certainly a lot. There's more people out there. Well, actually, all the guys on the podcast, I've already had to message all of them and say, so this guy here, is this actually a German uniform? Not the one I'm painting. There's a guy over here who's nicked a German helmet, and I couldn't work out if he was also wearing a German uniform. These are nice sculpts. I've also got for Christmas, someone got me my Wars of the Roses opponent. He got me the Soviet Scout Squad. So, and that's pretty much an entire army by itself. So this game's sort of a little bit like, I guess, the 40k kill team, you know, for not a big investment. You can do it, and anyone who's got any kind of bolt action, or even any kind of bolt action squads would be able to play. So what do you say here? Joe Stids. Henry was basically elected king. The Stanleys only helped up because Richard had lost their support during his years up north. Yeah, that's it. Well, yeah, and also Stanley was Henry's stepdad. That helped. The thing is, Richard had Stanley's son as a hostage, threatened to execute him. But it was only once Richard became sort of stuck in the battle that Stanley then committed his troops, although there's obviously the fact that Northumberland, for one reason or another, didn't really get involved in the battle, whether that was down to, you know, a mix-up of orders or whether he was also standing back to see what happened, is open to debate as well. Right. There we are. I don't know if these colours I'm painting these belts, I'm just doing them sort of a military green colour, are accurate for what the partisans would have, but I guarantee, you know, they'd have taken whatever equipment they could, or maybe it had been supplied to them by the Allies and or stolen, and they would use it. Marshal Ney, I thought about doing a Confederate army of every regiment. I had an ancestor in which is quite a few cities in the middle of nowhere in the south. It's quite good. I like that one. If you do it in that new warlord stuff, you'd be able to you'd be able to do it quite well. Sorry, that's just my wife delivering me some much needed water. Peter, the Devereux were a bit dodgy though. It said they would bugger off when it got violent. Yeah, it is. I've seen that as well. In fact, well, actually, have we got a Devereux? Yeah, there's a Devereux. Lord Ferrers. There you go. There's his thing. But I'm not going to paint up this rather heroic looking this figure as a Derris. There's a lot of that in the Wars of the Roses. A lot of people that tend to bugger off and then switch sides and then come back for more later on. Until eventually there'll be one day that they can't, and then they get caught. If you saw my my video on the Bombard, the Lancastrian Ralph Grey, he kept on changing sides, and he was ended up being custodian of Bamborough Castle. And the Yorkists, even though they threatened to kill everybody, actually relented that. But for him, they couldn't. And there's actually a reference. I didn't put it in the video. I probably should have done, of actually the effectively the execution order that had come from Edward, which was to have his spurs shaved and clipped. So they were taking off different bits of him slowly, and then eventually beheading him, and then bits of him were sent various places. So it wasn't always good to try and play the field and fight for both sides, because eventually your luck would run out. So you can see, like, all this stuff is dry quite well now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the this is still quite wet. I'm going to use the chrome color. I'm just going to start picking out all the higher areas. There's quite a lot of nice patterns on this armor. Right. Right. There we go. Actually, there's a lot of detail on this, so you don't always see till you get these washes on. It's really another reason, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I tend to do that zenithal highlighting even if I'm using a rattle can on my minis, and that's just because it picks out and shows off quite a lot of details that I don't necessarily see. And there's so many things I've painted and I've gone back later on and looked at it and gone, I wish I'd have seen that properly. But because I'm so far down, I don't necessarily want to start repainting. Nick Games says, is there any good Wars of the Roses movies with good battle scenes? No. is basically the answer to that. I've been having this debate for a while now. I mean, someone could make a really, really good series out of it, and in fact they did, and then they started adding dragons and other things into it and changing names. But yeah, no, there's the series on Stars, which is the White Queen, which is based on the I've forgotten the name of the Philippa Gregory, on her novels. So there, I mean, it's all right. It's a bit sort of Sunday afternoon drama for me, but it takes some rather broad themes. So there's no battles in that, and I had really big issues with the battle at the end, as it's the Battle of Bosworth Field. It takes place in the forest in the snow, but the battle took place in August. So I was less than happy. I can cope with, like, when you know they haven't necessarily got the budget, and you know you focus on tiny bits of a battle to, you know, give the illusion of scale. But that I couldn't understand why Richard III was charging through the snow in a forest when in fact it was a blistering hot day in Leicestershire, and he was charging and eventually get caught in a swamp in the open. So yeah, I think there's the Hollow Crown series that the BBC did, the Shakespeare thing, but again that's, you know, based on Shakespeare, so isn't exactly accurate, and the focus isn't on the battles. I've always thought that someone could make a decent series and base it on either there's some historical novels by Connie Goodden which are all right, and we sort of would do the Viking style kind of Rome style series on it would be brilliant. Yeah, people have probably heard me talk about the Kingmaker series of novels. They would make an excellent series because they're quite compelling, and got some great characters in them as well, and that's quite accurate as well as a series of novels. But I'm just trying to think. There's some good documentaries, but no, there's a real lack of that time period represented in film. It's 28mm. This one, if you're talking about these are all 28mm, so he should fit quite nicely with everything else. So I'll just grab closest one, so he'll fit together quite nicely with the others. I think they have made this with Perry's in mind, and there's a few other manufacturers as well. First Corps, Front Rank, Foundry. There was the Wars of Roses Kickstarter that was done recently by Athena Miniatures, I think it was. They did one, so that was quite good. Yeah, Nick, I'm talking about Game of Thrones. It's based on he based it on the Wars of the Roses, it was quite. You've got some of the characters. So you've got Robb Stark is effectively sort of an Edward IV quite character, as is his one of the older kings. It's lots of things that happen in the Wars of the Roses are kind of repeated in that, and he just changed the names. You've got all the scheming and the House of York and the House of Lancaster. You've got the Lannisters and the Starks, and yeah, and obviously he used other things and his imagination, but he's always said that was one of his one of the bases for that. I know that the character that everyone hated, the boy king in it, Joffrey, he's based on Richard II, who was also a psychotic little git as well. So one good documentary on YouTube about the battle during winter, which is Blood Buff. There's the battle in winter is Towton. There's it's called Blood Red Roses. That is all about the mass graves, and they sort of do autopsies on them. Your channels inspired me to finish my Wars of the Roses and got some ECW after selling them years back. Yeah, well, I wouldn't have gone into ECW if bloody Miller hadn't have sent me a load to do. But they're getting there. I've got a whole load base coated, but I'm basically just mixing it up. So I'm doing one unit and then I'll change time period and do another unit and just slowly build up my forces that way. It's not like I'm going to be going anywhere for 6 weeks, so I've got the time to work on it. The White Queen used a fair bit of Wells Cathedrals, so I guess, yeah, I guess some of the bits they couldn't do. One of the things in the White Queen, see, I sound like I'm just moaning. I mean, it's not a terrible series by any stretch of imagination, but one of the castles they shot in was in Bruges, and they had to hang the banners over the signposts for, say, like fire exit and things like that. But when the wind blew, you could see it, and you can also see the hand. Like they would have had some handrails, but they wouldn't have had sort of modern wrought iron, galvanized stuff. So yeah, they couldn't get rid of everything. Joe, good book. He'd suggested, but I've got The Brothers York by Thomas Penn. I haven't read that, and you're right. Yeah, the final part of the Wars of the Roses was effectively York versus York. It becomes a civil war. Henry's just there to mop up the pieces, but Henry's, I don't want to say usurpation because of can you really have that? He rules by right of conquest. His tenuous link to the throne could only be solidified by marrying Elizabeth of York. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, he had effectively the Lancastrian cause was lost at Tewkesbury. Marshall Nay asks, which brand is better for Napoleonic generals, Perry or Warlord? I need to buy myself Picton or Wellington. I mean, I prefer Perry miniatures, but I actually have the Warlord Wellington because I preferred the pose where he was waving his hat, and he's like, you get Picton with him. So I actually have that, and that's a nice set. I've got that. I did that. There's a video on that actually. If you have a look, it was about 8 months ago. I did a video on that. So yeah, if you scroll back, I did in two. I did one about painting the models with contrast, and then one about how I made the base because I had a whole load of soldiers and the colours marching past it because it was Wellington and I wanted a big command base. And you wanted to do ECW, but no one around would do it because everyone's of French descent. I saw a comment recently that said that all the Americans do ECW and all the English people do ACW. Hello, Simon. Hello, mate. This is one of my friends that we play the Wrigley War game with when we can on a Wednesday night, just to try that. And he'll often be playing Black Powder. That's the guy who normally controls the Hanoverians. Although I think through the battle reports, I don't know, I think Haley might have had a little bit more success. Although I think you're just enjoying watching them beat the crap out of me. And hello, Guesty. Trust me, mate, you didn't miss anything. The start of it was a disaster. So you haven't missed anything. Don't worry. I had to cancel the stream and start again. So that other video is getting deleted. So no, don't worry, you didn't miss anything. You're missing a Hanoverian. They'll be out soon, mate. They'll be out for another one soon. I didn't make an appearance in the one we did for Christmas. We went with an entirely British army for that one. Oh dear. Right, so we've got these partisans. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with rifles, 2 with MP40s, 1 with a Thompson, and 1 with a big gun. Is that a Bren gun? I think that's a Bren gun. Yeah, it's a Bren gun. Yeah. It's smoking as well, so that's go on. So yeah, we so keep your eyes open because I'll be I'm going to do a review of Operation Squad because now I've played a few games of it. It works very similar. If you've seen some other of my videos, it works a little bit like Dead Man's Hand in the way that you work out shooting. If you're in cover, then it's quite hard to get. The moment you're in the open, you are shot to pieces, and it works on an initiative system. So you declare what actions you're going to take, and then you roll initiative. And so you could say, my guy's going to run across the road. I could respond by saying, mine's going to shoot you. And you could say, I'm going to throw a grenade to someone else, and you roll initiative, and it could happen in a completely different order, which can be a laugh. This is when you finished your Richard Neville command base. Fantastic. Oh, you have to put a picture up of it in the one of the groups. So you have a usable Wars of the Roses force for Lion Rampant. As we're I haven't decided on my Richard Neville yet. See, this is again something that I'm gonna, because I don't. It's not that I don't like the Perry sculpt that they've done. It's just that I don't think it's necessarily grand enough for the Earl of Warwick. I mean, this guy's the Kingmaker. He put one king on the throne, dethroned, imprisoned the king, put the king back on the throne, dethroned another one, put a new one back, readapted another one again. Then eventually he died horribly. But it's I felt like he needed a grander miniature. But I don't know what I'm going to do yet, because again, he's got a really complicated livery as well, which isn't dissimilar to his brothers up here. Did you go with the full livery, or did you use his livery badge, or did you have him unarmored? Because where's his livery? See, I've got a lot of flags. There's some of these I haven't even opened. That's his dad. Where is he? Earl of Lincoln. There he is. Richard Neville, Earl of Warwick. So I don't think that one's as bad as the Marquis of is his brother. That one's worse. He's got that shield in the middle to try and paint out as well. You went with the red. Cool. He did do that. There's obviously that famous say obviously, but there's that painting of him. He's wearing red. He's wearing red now. Just paint everywhere. Very well. That's what it's there for. What else have we got there? Have I ever painted? You need to get Hayley to do a video on how to win black powder. I'll ask her if she's up for that. You can do a 10-step guide to how to win, how to use, or how to really annoy your opponent. Should be good at that. Hello, Matt. How are you, mate? That's all right. Like I said to Guesty, you didn't miss anything at the start. It's been hit and miss. I hope everyone else has enjoyed it since. Cheers for that, mate. That's wicked. I hope you enjoy it. Oh, no idea. I mean, they are done on a printer. Might be worth contacting him. I know the store's only online for another few months, and then he's retiring. So that's why I bought every single Yorkist flag set. I did one big order, and it all turned up. So I've got all these loads and loads and loads of flags, absolutely loads. Right, let's get some more hats done, and then I'm going to sign off because I do have work in the morning, and I've got to go for a meeting on a site. Because that project is being run as national infrastructure type projects, so those are still going ahead, so we will be out. What kind of colour should I do a beret? Already he's done a green jacket. Have you yellow berets? That zenithal highlighting does help when you're using these contrast paints as well, because it helps highlight and shade already. Alright. I reckon it's going to have to be Robert. Yeah, it's going to have to be Robert Vaughan. Roger Vaughan. Robert Vaughan? Roger Vaughan. Why have I forgotten his name? Roger Vaughan. So, for doing that, I'm going to have to base coat him with some white. Yes, Ken. Still here. Nothing's gone wrong. Nothing's gone wrong yet. That was a quick TV program. What was it? Yeah. Robert is the actor. Yeah, I know. Excellent. I'll go and check that out. As soon as we've done this, yeah. It was Napoleon Sonic. I know. Yes, the man from. I could paint a model of him. I could chuck him in my Wars of the Roses stuff. This is a nice sculpt. Always tend to use an off-white now for a base. And then I've got this wide but small brush which I use for doing the liveries. You know, I'm not too fussed. I mean, again, if you've heard, you know, from 3 foot away, if it looks like the livery, then I'm happy. I mean, Neville, Richard Neville has got to use his livery to paint. You know, they're red, and then they've got the ragged staff, which is effectively a rectangle with some other sort of lines coming off of it. Yeah, The Man from U.N.C.L.'s a TV series and more recently a film, but I haven't seen the film. If you sat watching the news, this is better. I'm glad to hear it. I don't want to watch the news anymore. There's nothing on there now. I want to hear. All the important stuff gets filtered back to me, one way or another. I'm fed up with news. It's usually bad, so I'd rather paint my models. Right, where is? I need his livery back. So what I'm going to do for this is he will be. So I will base coat it red first and then do the black. So quarters red, so might as well try and get the red on. So basically the whole of that livery coat that I've just done white is going to be red, but that again adds some pre-shading for the contrast paints. There's my red. This is the same red that I've used in all the Neville stuff. Put this on primetime television. I think that'd be swiftly get taken off the air. That being said, in Spring Watch they are just sitting there watching like a hedgehog, asleep. What's going on? Pray for us Americans, it's awful, and protesters stormed the Capitol today to stop the electoral college vote. Really? I'll have to go and turn the... Oh, is that what the other comment was about previously? Have I just completely missed? What was it Matt said about ACW? Was it ACW? I'm going to have to go and turn the news. See, now you're going to make me go and watch the news. I have to go and do it. I'm going to get this red on, and then I think I'm going to call it a night, and then I will do another one, and there will not be, I promise, marred by technical difficulties. Oh. So we're going to be, if you saw Ken's stream last night, or if you watched the interview, we're going to be streaming again on Monday, the Plastic Crack podcast. We're going to be using StreamYard like I am here. So, and then there'll be the four of us. But we'll put out a post or something beforehand, so it's only going to be through one channel. But we'll let you guys know who's hosting. If anyone wants to come and have a watch, that'd be brilliant. Have a chat. Hopefully things should run a bit smoother. Certainly smoother than this one. Hello, mate. How's it going? I'm going to be off in a second, but hello, and Stoic Steve, you've enjoyed the band. So you've Goblin Wolf Riders, Oathmark. See, Oathmark is something else I'm trying to avoid. Dom and Ken play it, and Leon's doing videos for it, and I'm trying really hard not to do it because I've got so many fantasy models kicking about in boxes that the temptation to get them out, and a bit like I'm going to do with my samurai, sort of, go over them a little bit, repaint them, upscale them a little bit, is very, very, very tempting. So that's where he is. All right, that now, come on. Oh, it nearly focused. There we go. So that'll dry shortly. Yeah, all the congressmen have had to have been evacuated. What? I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to go and have a look. Yeah, no, it's great. The live streaming is brilliant, and it's a bit of fun. It's nice making videos, and I try to put out regular content. If you again, I've said before, I don't have a release schedule. I just try to put out content as and when I finish. I do things, and I'd rather put. Sometimes it takes me a couple of weeks before I put a video out, but I'd rather put out two good videos over 3 weeks than just churn them out one after the other. I'd like to do a little bit of work on them, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just the way I like to do it. So doing a bit of live streaming while working on these projects is just another way to sort of stay in touch. And being sort of Dom and Ken, when they kindly invited me onto the other stream, getting to chat with people on a Monday, having a social painting session like I haven't actually been able to have basically since March. It's been awesome because it's one of the things I miss the most. So yeah, there will be some more live streaming. There will. Right then. Well, thank you very much for popping in, guys. I hope that you enjoyed what you've seen. I'll sort out my technical problems by the time I do it again, and I hope you all stay safe. There'll be some videos coming out in the near future, some World War II stuff, and obviously more Wars of the Roses. So stay safe. I'm going to go and watch the news and find out what's going on, and I will see you all again soon. So take care, and thank you very, very much for watching and sticking with it. Cheers.